What turns underdogs into legend?
You're still too weak. You don't have enough hate. And you know something? You never will.
How do weak, pathetic, and talentless individuals who lack qualities and abilities common to their peers eventually grow to outclass their rivals and become legends? The trope of the hopeless underdog who goes through frustration, intense training to no avail, but eventually stumbles on a hack that grants them power and balances the injustice in the world is one of the most common across all anime. In most cases, the individual finds out that their powers were either hidden, sealed, or simply misunderstood by everyone, including themselves. But in many other cases, they are granted power from an external source that might simply bestow it on them. This is the story of 99 out of 100 anime characters, except one, and that one character is Rock Lee. When we first meet Rock Lee's character, he is completely unremarkable. He has a bowl haircut, oversized round eyes, and he looks like he wandered out of an aerobics class that was set in the 1960s. He's enthusiastic, but he's awkward. He's overly polite, but courageous. He immediately professes his dream to become a splendid ninja, even though he can neither use ninjutsu or jinjutsu. And his first act in the anime is to challenge Uchiha Sasuke. Yeah, the Uchiha Sasuke, the guy who had been built up to be the genius genin of Konoha, who even before he unlocked his Sharingan was the top genius of his class. If you immediately wrote Rock Lee off, you would have been right for about 4 seconds, because the moment the action starts, he blitzes Sasuke and drops one of the most unforgettable lines in the anime.
Your eyes may be quick enough to stay one step ahead of me, but if your body cannot keep up, what good does it do you?
As a ninja, Rock Lee had no talent whatsoever, but as Guy Sensei put it, Lee was a genius of hard work. This is correct in some sense. We know that in real life, hard work alone is not enough to make you successful. And to be honest, not even in anime. So what Guy Sensei really should have said was that Rock Lee had unlocked the formula that turns underdogs into legends. He had stumbled on one of the core principles in the book called Compound Effect, written by Darren Hardy. To put the idea in my own words, it's simply a set of meaningful, purpose-oriented actions taken over a significant amount of time compounds into huge results. Now, while persistence and hard work are necessary, they have to be targeted at a specific problem using a guided approach. Without a set approach, hard work and persistence are virtues, but they do not deliver victories. I spent 2 weeks reading Compound Effect and taking note of key ideas that stood out to me and which animes embodied those key ideas. Key idea number 1. The magic is not in the complexity of the task, but rather doing the simple thing repeatedly for long enough to ignite the miracle of compound effect. In the anime Hunter x Hunter, we meet Chairman Isaac Netero, who is one of the most skilled nen users and arguably the most powerful hunter of his time. Yet, his training method was simple. Isaac Netero repeated thousands of punches in a single session every day, dedicating himself to perfecting a simple, basic technique. Over years of relentless practice, his punch reached unparalleled speed and power, giving him strength that even younger fighters found nearly impossible to rival. This consistency led Netero to develop in his iconic Hyakushi Cannon technique, a seemingly miraculous ability born from decades of practicing his punches. The power he achieved was not a result of a complex set of mystical processes, but the compounded effect of a simple act repeated diligently over a long period of time. Now, that's all anime stuff, but we actually see the same even in real life. Take basketball, for example, where legends, the likes of Michael Jordan, Steph Curry, Ray Allen, Kobe Bryant, and many others practiced 500 to 1,000 throws every day just to perfect their shots. Now that's about 3 to 4 million shots over a 10-year career. As Bruce Lee said, fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, but rather fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Key idea number 2, to take responsibility for your desired outcome or your dreams, you have to take responsibility for your habits over a long period of time. Hardy emphasized personal responsibility in achieving success regardless of obstacles. He makes the point that habits work for you or against you, whether you're conscious of it or not. We like to think that only the things we want to count should count, but the truth is everything you do counts, whether you're counting or you're not counting. We sometimes want to believe that our excuses matter, that they give us a pass, but life doesn't really care about your excuses. It just cares that you or someone else on your behalf pays the price for the success you desire. The best thing to do is to become totally immersed in your vision. Become hyper vigilant of your habits and let all your productive time be used in service of what you consider to be your life's ultimate purpose. We see this in Rock Lee's intense dedication to difficult training regimens Guy Sensei created. In spite of its intensity, he goes over and beyond what is required. Things compound based on frequency and time. You have to stay the course of action for a long enough period of time, and within that period of time, you must perform the core practices that lead you towards your goal as frequently as possible with the highest amount of intentionality you can muster. Key idea number 3. When performing at a high level, a tiny difference in ability leads to outsized differences in outcome. One of the analogy Hardy uses is that of a horse race. The winning horse wins by its nose and a tiny fraction of a second, yet it gets a much higher prize money than the second horse, even though it's clearly not much faster than the second horse. Or take golf, for example, where the difference in shot accuracy between the number 1 golfer and the number 10 golfer is just about 2.7%. Yet the number 1 golfer gets about 5 times the prize money of the number 10 golfer. In life, the difference between victory and defeat is binary, no matter how closely fought the contest is. When the stakes are high, the reward for just being a tiny fraction of a bit better than your competition is incalculable. Now, the perfect anime that I think illustrates this is Hajime no Ippo. In one of his most difficult fights, Ippo faces off against Sawamura, an unpredictable and brutal fighter with a unique counterpunching style and a reckless fighting attitude. Sawamura was infamous for using dirty tricks to unsettle his opponent, and during the match, Ippo faced relentless psychological taunting. He had to endure Sawamura's precise counters, which exploited his aggressive style. Despite this, Ippo remained determined, willing to push through the pain and mental strain to find an opening. At the climax of the match, both fighters were on the verge of collapse, exhausted, battered, and out of breath. However, Ippo's drive and conditioning allowed him to throw one final decisive punch, the signature Dempsey roll, that managed to break through Sawamura's defense and secure Ippo's victory. It was Ippo's ability to dig just a bit deeper and throw that one last punch and last just a few seconds longer than Sawamura that eventually decided the outcome. In the end, the result is the result. People tend to ask who won before they ask what the score was. And very often, being just a tiny bit better is really all that you need. Before I go, I'll admit that there are a number of other anime characters that really embody some principles that I saw in the book Compound Effect. One of them being Tanjiro of Demon Slayer. But there are other anime characters that I would probably give an automatic disqualification. The likes of Saitama from One Punch, Asta from Black Clover, Naruto, Luffy from One Piece, Sun Jin-woo from Solo Leveling. Now, the reason why I would not consider these characters is because in the end, we find out that they were somewhat always special. Child of destiny, the reincarnation of the sun god, and so on and so forth. Or in the case of Saitama of One Punch Man, who goes from being a normal human being to being more powerful than all the most powerful superheroes in the entire anime. Sadly, in real life, it's all you 100% of the time. You just have to try as hard as you can. Now, feel free to disagree with me about which characters I disqualified from the list. And more importantly, if you think there are any anime characters that deserve to be top contenders for the spots, the #1 spot with Rock Lee, feel free to drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching this video.